I looked out my window one day and I saw them tearing the roof off the house. So what happens in our neighborhood when they take a house down, they build a two-story house. So we knew exactly what was going to happen. We bought the lot that night before they put it on the market. We found out the realtor. So all I had to do was open up the gate I'd already built for the city to get access to the sewer line, which is on the pathway in between my two posts. And I have a garden entry. If you look at the stone on the bottom down there, can you read that?
Outback garden.
Okay, this is my new Outback garden. This started in 2015 when we bought it. And I'll tell you the story of what happened after that. But what you see now is a 4-year-old garden going on 5 years. Everything you see out here past this walkway is into it. So let's go see it.
In well.
Yeah, look. Stop, watch. That's a migrating bird on the left. That is a Swainson's thrush. That is incredible to have him come up while we're here. I didn't think they would do that. Count yourself lucky. So you see on the pedestal, there's the robins. Well, sometimes I'll have 20 or 30 birds in here at a time. Well, there's another one coming in. There's another. Oh, watch this. Watch this. That's another migrating bird. They're coming to water. There's one over here, waiting to come in. See the hide in this tree here. There he is.
Oh, there he is.
And that's a red-eyed vireo.
You're amazing.
Wait till you see my next group of pictures. There's another one hiding down there in the shrubbery. I wish I had my camera.
I see it.
Okay. So what you've got here is a pool. That's a mockingbird. A pool that's 12-foot diameter around, 2.5 foot deep, with a 3/4 ton rock, specially designed to be flat on top. That's the pool. Then it's filled with gravel, big gravel first, then the little pebble gravel. That's your filter. This never needs cleaning. This has been running 6 years this fall, this spring, and I've never cleaned it. All I have to do is blow the leaves off and rake the ones in the water that the blower won't get. Get them off and put them in my mulch over on the right. So that whole thing, 12-foot diameter, so all those plants you see out there are in pots.
Okay.
That tree, that ball cypress, is in a pot. A 15-gallon pot.
Is that so you can pull them out and change them
if
when
I
you
want to. And that keeps them from spreading as well. The cattails you see there, same way. So that's designed for the birds. So what happens for me, where I'm sitting up in that room, I've got a clear shot of this whole pool. You'll be amazed what comes in here. We get birds that you normally would never see in the city. Had spotted sandpipers come in, hawks, Cooper's hawks come take a bath.
Yeah.
At night, owls come to bathe, barred owls and screech owls.
How fun.
Can you believe that?
How fun.
There's my camera in the box, okay? So that takes all these pictures. All I do is get in the morning and go through them and see what I had visited the night before. Since this is a wildlife habitat, we have raccoons, possums, rabbits, fox, and coyotes, all photographed drinking water.
So here's the question, speaking of that wildlife, is how do you deal with the wildlife eating the birds, or even like the cats in your neighborhood?
Okay, cats are a major problem. Feral cats eat about 3 billion birds a year throughout the U.S. They're a major hazard for birds. Here, the issue is the density of the forest I have helps, but I try to discourage the cats by telling my neighbors. You'll see one come walking up here in a minute. It's a Siamese cat. My new neighbors moved in about 8 months ago. The Siamese cat showed up on my deck. I thought, bad news.
Right.
Tame as he can be, doesn't hunt, doesn't go after it. So I've got it made. Now he's my pet. It's the only cat I really like. Excuse me. So that is a major problem in the city. The other varmints that you see generally don't hurt birds. They'll rob nests, sometimes raccoons.
Yeah.
So nothing you can do about that. That's nature. Okay. So the fox, coyotes, get the rabbits. That's okay, 'cause they're eating my flowers.
Can I point out this one spectacular plant over
Oh,
here?
you got that. You
That's
see
this
that? You got a good
beautiful Sarracena. Can you see that? Right there? That is gorgeous. That's a pitcher plant, and it's a carnivorous plant, correct?
eye. That's correct. There's
Right.
3 more. There's another group over there.
Oh, yes.
Another group right down here, kind of hiding. This was a new one, just as a gift to me. People stop by here to visit, see what I'm doing, call me up and say, would you like so-and-so? Oh, would I ever? That came when they showed up on my porch.
That is fantastic.
Isn't that nice?
That would make my week.
Yeah. So I'm doing this garden here has opened up so much social environment for me that I never had it when I worked. I didn't know anybody on our street. Now I've got all these people coming by to visit.
So you open this up to anybody who wants to walk through? Or?
Not on an unsupervised basis. The way that I do my garden is I had to put a gate up because children started coming in thinking it was a park.
Yes.
Okay, so we put a gate up and I put the word private garden on it, and most everybody has respected that. What I see happening is that people hang on the gate with their children or their spouses or their friends, just looking over, it's in the garden. So when I go out and meet them, I give them my card and say, if you call me, let me know when you want to come, and I'm here, you're welcome. And you can stay in the garden as long as you want.
Yes.
That's the only way I do it. Oh my goodness.
You need your camera again, don't you?
Yep, there's another one of those boats. So that's what's happened to me. So this has really opened me up socially to have this garden that I had no idea that was going to happen. It just didn't dawn on me that people would want to come see this. So
I would be one of the fence hangers. I would for sure.
you would be welcome to come in anytime. But it has been a real benefit and a blessing for me. The people I've met here who knew of me years ago and working, had retired, they go, you're Herb Lewis. You know, they walk by now. And so there we go.
So let me ask you this. I see in this whole area a whole lot of native plants. There's buttonbush, I saw ironweed back there, there's beautyberry. So why all the natives? Is there a reasoning behind that?
Yes. When I built this garden, my basic approach was to go native. I've compromised because some things Terry wants. Okay, so we put some flower things in. I do annuals as well, but I put a lot of good accent naturals in here to be a garden to attract wildlife, because that's what they see in the woods.
Right.
You familiar with Doug Talimay?
Yes,
His book,
he's my favorite.
Me too. I am now one of his avid followers, and I'm doing what he suggested to be done. I've been doing it a long time, but didn't know it. Now I'm doing it better. And doing the natives is the way I'm getting rid of anything that doesn't fit well.
Right.
It's not native, and I'm putting natives in.
Okay.
So that's what's happening in the garden.
I was just rereading a little bit of his book the other day for a talk that I'm going to do, and it's talking about like
Nature's Last Hope.
no, I don't
that's
have
the
that
last
one. I have the one before that. I really want to read Nature's Last Hope.
The landscape book.
Bringing Nature Home, I think.
Yeah.
But it was talking about the trees and making sure that you've got native trees. You know, like a native oak will support 500 species of caterpillars.
And willows.
Just caterpillars.
Yeah, who knows that?
Willows will support 400 and something. And so that right there is food. That's your food source for a lot of birds. So.
She's outrunning us. Okay, let me show you something. Here's a good native for you. Do you recognize this one?
That's a witch hazel. No, it's a wax myrtle. Wax myrtle.
You're good. You're good, girl. You know why?
Oh, it has berries.
Right. You know what the bird leaf is called?
I'm going to guess a waxwing?
No.
Cedar wax?
Myrtle warbler.
Myrtle warbler,
It's the only warbler that's adapted to eat seeds of the warbler family. A few others have learned a little bit, but this one can live on them, and because of that, it can stay here all winter.
Okay.
They used to have to go to South America, but over eons, they've learned to live off of these all down the East Coast.
It's amazing.
So those birds work their way down the winter and stop about in here, but that's what they live on. These are out at the Botanical Garden. I found a dozen wax myrtles in these And I just put them in the spring. The only berries I've got are just down at the bottom.
Oh
See?
yeah, just a few. And so those will turn like a gray-green color
So
over
next
the
year
winter.
this should be covered with them.
Right.
That's
It'll
my hope.
all except for the newest growth, right? The newest growth
That
doesn't
it
have
doesn't,
them.
that's
but-
right.
And that's got a really nice fragrance to it too. So we do have a native oak here. And what type of oak is this?
It's called a covered oak. Covered oak has the cap goes all the way over the acorn.
Overcut, maybe?
Overcut. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Terry knows all the names for me. So that tree's 4 years old. It was 3 foot tall when I bought it. And it's really doing well. I'm proud of that.
It's going to be beautiful.
There's my accent shrimp plant. Now what this tree here is to take place of this one. It died.
Right. Once it falls.
So you know about the arbor on this tree and what it's about. So that attracts woodpeckers. I left one limb on it, way up at the top. See the woodpecker on it?
Oh, I do.
Okay, that's a red-bellied woodpecker on the top. Up until this spring, that went up another 20 feet. I left one posing log I could see from my window. Hawks, birds all landed on that. And there he is. And now they're tearing it up because it's old. They're getting food out of it. And soon I hope they'll be nesting in it. So maples, oaks, low covered plants here for safety. I do little things like this here. You'll see a lot of old logs laying around in my garden. The logs create food underneath them for birds because of the insects that get under them. And they're a great accent for plants to grow around. It looks natural. So this is a way I try to accent in a natural environment.
I wouldn't have thought about the food that's growing under the logs, you know, those decomposer of insects. I wouldn't have thought about that.
Here's another example too.
Wait, can we look at this plant? I'm dying to see. What is that? It's so,
it's
do you know which ajuga?
No, I don't. It was given to me as a gift.
It's beautiful.
Terry
It's so
may know.
crinkly.
Yeah, Terry may know.
It's a commonly bugleweed.
Yeah.
It's got a purple flower in the
Yep.
spring, but I just like the
Yeah,
curliness of it. It's
that's a
beautiful.
unique feature of that. Yeah, I don't know. Terry, that's Terry would go up. Here, you ask about the logs. See how I do these logs? Those
Right.
are, you know what those are for? Coffee cups.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
All right, so I'm sitting here, or a wine glass, okay? Put my cup right here. Watch the birds go by, butterflies. We talk, have a great time right here. But notice what's on it.
Yes, those are turkey tails, right?
I don't know what
Yeah,
it's called. It's
fungus.
fungus.
Yeah.
But it's gorgeous. It's dark. It's orange. Beautiful orange in the spring. So, boy, what a treat to have that.
Do you see any benefit, like from the birds? Do they eat that, or?
Not that I know of. I don't know, but see, they get
is
down
beautiful.
in here. See, they've already pulled this away.
Right,
And then you can see the bark down here is coming off this tree.
right.
So they're working it. But this is where we sit, and now we can social distance. We can invite one couple over. They sit over there. They sit over here.
Nice.
Okay. All right. We bought the lot in 2015 in the spring. We left the next week on an extended 3-week vacation. I started working the garden in August. Hired a contractor to come in and clean it out for me because it had some bad trees in it, and he brought in 8 loads of topsoil and 5 loads of mulch, and it made everything real pretty. The day he finished, he parked his equipment on the driveway. The next morning it rained 5 inches. It washed 2 truckloads of dirt and soil all out into the street, down the, so I had to stop. It took me a whole year to figure out how to handle the water that was coming down off of this slope. So do you see the terracing that's taking place? Okay, that's one solution. So I now direct all the water to come right down here, and where the steps are is the start of a French drain.
I see.
It was,
Yeah.
it was hand dug. It goes all the way around the edge, all the way around that bed, all the way out to the street. That's 150 feet. Then every meadow out there has a French drain around the lower half of it to catch the water on that end, all connected to go out to the street. That did it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, when it rained, this area stayed soggy. Couldn't walk on it.
Right.
So now I've got it solved. So I did not plant anything in this garden till the year 2016. That-
And this is to look like a meadow.
Okay,
Is the
you're right on the cue. Why a meadow?
well, I do see a lot of butterflies in
Okay,
here.
pollinators. Okay.
I suspect that maybe you get different species visiting a meadow than you
Yes.
would up here, and then also these meadow plants are good for seeds, right?
Yes,
Food.
food. Got it. Okay.
That's all I've got. Is there
Okay.
more?
There's more. Do you see that house right over there? Right here. Little
Yes, barely.
birdhouse? Right here.
Oh, the birdhouse, not the actual house.
The house. Out here, that's the house.
Okay.
I've lived here since 47 years. Never had bluebirds. My goal when I bought this lot, I wanted bluebirds to come to my yard. So a meadow is the trick. I had read about them. I knew if you had an open space, the bluebirds would come in. I built that out there, put that house up first spring. They came. 3 nests that spring in one
Wonderful.
house.
Wow,
Next year, same thing.
that's the trick.
Every year they've been in there. And I can see it from my room. I can photograph that house. What a treat.
So you need a meadow,
You need open space.
open spaces for them.
Some people can do it with less, but this did it. So one pair only, because it's too small an area for 2 pairs. They'll fight each other off.
Right.
But I put up 3 or 4 houses. See another one's hidden over there. That's for the house wrens. They'll come in, take over a house, build a nest in it, and take out the bluebirds. So I give them their own house.
Right.
And they're little bitty birds.
So what is the spacing that you need for a bluebird house? You say they're territorial.
I don't know the exact number. I just know it has to be open, where they can see a little distance to fly out to and approach. There's the cat. See him going across the pad down
Oh, there he is.
That's precious.
The non-hunting cat.
Yeah, that's precious. Okay. So anyway, the birds feed in here as well. So all this is fescue now, and I'll leave it grow. I don't cut it too often, and it's just a food bank for a lot of birds.
So you say they feed in here, you mean they feed in the
In
grass
the
area?
they're getting
right.
well, you know,
Worms and
it's
stuff.
worms for the main, a lot of the birds, but otherwise it's moths and crickets and grasshoppers.
Right.
When I'm cutting these long, we call them katydids.
Right.
Big guys come flying out, bird goes right to them.
So you see those here, you see a different species here than you do up there?
No, not different, but they're feeding different.
Okay.
It's the mockingbirds, thrashers, the bluebirds don't come up there. They
Right.
stop, don't come much past the fence. So everything they do is out here.
I thank you for sharing your garden with us today. Is there anything else that you'd like to impart to us before we go?
Yes, I would like to encourage anyone who enjoys this kind of fun and wants to make a passion out of it to visit my website, creativebirding.com. There I explain a lot of what's in the garden, how I built it, how to feed the birds, how to make the feeders, things like that. That is my passion extended to the public.
Wonderful.
So I would welcome you to do my garden, and there's a place if you want to sign up to receive bird photos, you can do that as well.
And they're good. Those bird photos are good.
Did you get mine? You
No, I have seen your bird photos,
Okay. Yeah,
and they are
yeah.
amazing.
If you want to get on my list, sign up on my website.
Okay. Thank you, Herb.